Here to talk about the new variants, new treatments, and what lies ahead for the country is a man you know well, President Biden's chief medical advisor, Dr. Anthony Fauci. Dr. Fauci, thank you for taking the time out today. I just want to start with a check-in on your health to see how you're doing. We know you tested positive for COVID a few weeks ago. How are you feeling right now?
Oh, very well. I believe I'm about close to, if not at 100%, the way I was before infection. So I'm really fortunate that I've done very well. And I keep telling people when they ask me that, is that I was vaccinated and doubly boosted. And I believe if I did not have that degree of background protection, I would have had a much more serious course. My course was relatively light, minor symptoms, and right now I'm completely without symptoms, and I feel very good, very energetic. So I believe I'm back to normal.
That's great news.
Well, it's certainly good to have you back, and it seems like you're back in time, just in time to potentially deal with a new wave. We had Delta, we had Omicron, and now the talk seems to be this BA4 and BA5 subvariant of Omicron. How worried should the U.S. be? What are we seeing about these strains that should have us back on guard?
Well, we certainly need to pay attention to them and not just blow them off and disregard them, because every new additional strain that comes up, if it has the capability of having a transmission advantage, then you could have an uptick in cases as one variant replaces another. If you look historically over the last several months, when we first started off with Omicron in November of last year, it went from Omicron BA1 to BA2 to BA2.1, 2.1. Now, as you mentioned, we have BA4-5, with BA5 being more than 50%. And when combined with BA4, which is closely related to it, that's over 70% of the isolates. Now, those variants do have a transmission advantage over the BA2.1, 2.1, which means that we will likely continue to see cases smolder and perhaps even increase. We've been stuck at around 100,000 cases a day, which is clearly an underestimate because many people are getting infected with mild to moderate symptoms, and they're using the home rapid antigen test and are not reporting it. So the number of reported cases is probably much lower than the actual number of cases. So we need to get far below from where we are right now, because we still have about 300 deaths per day, which is unacceptably high, even though it's less than where we were several months ago.
And I remember you gave an interview many, many months ago saying, we'll know we have this pandemic more under control when there are 10,000 or fewer new cases a day, and you're saying now we're at least at 100,000. So that shows you how far off we are. Just wanted to put that,
definitely.
That out.
Dr. Fauci, given the fact that, as you've been discussing, these new mutations, BA4, BA5, Omicron, Delta, all these different mutations of the coronavirus, does it render a variant, a variant-specific vaccine useless, or do those have a purpose if it just keeps mutating over and over again?
Well, yeah. Well, there is a purpose of a variant specific if you can reasonably accurately anticipate and predict what the evolution of that variant is going to be. And as you probably have already realized, that is not an easy thing to do, because we would not have predicted Omicron, nor would we have predicted BA2 or BA2.1, 2.1. And what you've got to do is get as close to the variant as possible. Fortunately for us, the original, what we call ancestral strain or wild type vaccine that we made in the beginning seems to at least some degree of good cross protection, at least against serious disease, of all the variants we've done so far. So, I mean, if you look at the fact that we were vaccinated when vaccines first became fully available in the beginning of 2021. We have 67% of the total population vaccinated right now. And if you get boosted, either a single or in many cases a double boost, most people have gotten that who need it, then you have a situation where you get good cross reactivity even against the variants. So that's the reason why I made the statement just a little bit ago. Remember, I was vaccinated with the original virus vaccine, and yet I believe that protected me against severe disease from the variant that I was infected with. And I know the variant I got infected with. I got infected with BA 2.1, 2.1, and yet I was reasonably well protected against severe disease. So the original vaccine, even though you don't have a new vaccine for every variant, that original vaccine can still go a long way in protecting you against severe disease.
And to that same point, we have about 2 minutes left. Speaking of that, number one, how are we doing getting kids 6 months to 5 vaccinated? That was the last group to be eligible. How's that going? Because we have lagged behind as a country in other areas. And for those of us who can't wait to get a second booster, when is that coming along? Those of us who aren't older or have a pre-existing condition but still want that extra protection, when will that second booster? When will we be eligible?
Okay, so the first question about children. We hope to do better in children 6 months of age to 4 to 5 than we've done with 5 to 11. We've only had about 1/3 of the eligible children from 5 to 11 that have been vaccinated. We had an initial push on vaccines from parents who were waiting anxiously to have available vaccine for their 6 months and older children. But we've got to do better in the numbers because we still have a relatively small fraction of those children who are eligible, and we need to get them vaccinated because children can get severe disease. There's no doubt about that. Now, with regard to your second question, there will very likely be what we call a bivalent vaccine that contains not only the original virus vaccine, but also an updated variant vaccine that will likely be available sometime in October, hopefully ready for what might be a fall surge in cases. So that's what we're aiming for, to get enough vaccine that will be available as we enter the fall season.
And Dr. Fauci, just real quick here, 10 seconds. Are you planning to stay with the U.S. government? Do you have any plans to leave NIH in the near-term future?
I'm just worried about what we're doing from day to day. That's what I concentrate on, not whether or not I'm going to lead. So we got a big job ahead of us. We still have a lot of challenges with regard to this virus.